Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Now today's video is a champion guide for Viktor on patch 5.14. Now this guide is going to cover the basics for the champion, so all the setup like the runes, masteries, etc. And we'll also have a little bit of a brief chat at the end talking about when his power spikes are, when should you look to roam, and what should you be doing in team fights. Now one thing to mention is recently I did do another video on Viktor, part of my Smurf series on Rank to Diamond, and that will also be linked at the end of the video. Without further ado, let's get into the guide. So let's start this guide with the runes. It's pretty much the most standard rune page in the game right now for AP mid laners. It's not just used on Viktor. This page can be used on Azir, Anivia, other champions. So let's go through it. We've got AP Quints, Magic Pen Reds, Health per level Yellows, and CDR per level Blues. The only two things I'm going to fully explain, because the others are fairly self-explanatory, are the Health and CDR. The reason why you go Health and CDR is because they both basically help each other. You don't need to go Magic Resist if you're going Health per level, because the Health per level counters the AP mage you're most likely against. And the CDR per level basically gets you to that 40% mark that, you know, most mid laners want to be at, because the current item build you only tend to build about 20% in one item, and then your masteries cover about 5%, so the remaining 15 odd percent is covered by the 9 CDR per level. Anyway, those are the runes for Viktor. Now let's move on to the masteries. Now the masteries, again, you most likely won't be surprised, are fairly basic, going 2109. Again, pretty standard for today's meta. Pretty much in the offense tree, you paint the right side of that tree, going everything AP with the auto attack damage in there, with the dual penetration, and also with the final point in the offense tree. And then in the utility you go a bit of mana regen, and you also go into the biscuit, which again helps you with early mana problems, which Viktor has a little bit of. Now moving on to items. Now obviously the first thing I want to say with item builds is every single game is different, so this is why I never say you should build this, then this, then this. I want you guys at home to be fairly flexible with your build and build what you need. So let's start with some just core items that I believe are very good on Viktor and should be built in most situations. So that is obviously the Hex Core upgrade. You're going to have it and upgrade it to 3 in the late game. Morellonomicon usually is the item that you go. Death Cap, Sork Boots, and Lichbane. These items are all very good on Viktor, and they give you a well-rounded build. Now, situational items, these are items that you probably will have a couple of these items in your build each time, and you only build them if you need them. So Abyssal if it's a heavy magic resist team, Liandry's if it's a very tanky team, Zhonya's if it's an AD team and you're getting dove on, Athene's instead of Morellonomicon if you're against a heavy AP mage, and Void Staff if they're building a lot of magic resist, you can break through it. There is one item that people may question in that why I don't have it in either core or situational, and that is Luden's Echo. The reason for this is I simply think Luden's Echo is an okay item on Viktor, and all the items I'm showing here are simply better on Viktor. You can build Luden's on him, but personally I think there's no point. Looking into the skill order of Viktor, so how you level up your abilities in which order, it's fairly basic. So taking ultimate whenever possible, then taking your E, the laser, then your Q, the auto attack buff, and then the W, the stun AoE. This will allow you to have great wave clear, great poke, and then eventually have great burst with your Q auto attack, especially when you get Lichbane. Now, as Viktor is a champion that has a little bit of an extra thing with the Hex Core, I thought I'd also explain the order and when to buy this item, or the upgrades at least. So the order you want to upgrade it is E, Q, W, and R. This will allow you to have great wave clear, a good amount of utility, and then eventually have your ultimate moving a little bit quicker. And the next part of this guide is summoner spells. What summoner spells to take at what certain times and what combinations are good. Now the first thing to say is always take Flash. Flash is Viktor's bread and butter. It allows him to be both aggressive and defensive when needed. Now let's just quickly go through the different combinations. To save time for this guide, I will let you guys pause the video and simply read through the little bit of a summary of each one. We have Ignite Flash, Cleanse Flash, Heal Flash, Barrier Flash, and Ghost Flash. The most popular ones for me are Ignite Flash to let me be fairly aggressive, Cleanse if my opponent has CC, or Ghost if I want to catch people or if the enemy team are running a severe. But anyway, feel free to pause the video and read up a little bit more. So to wrap up the guide, I want to quickly touch upon power spikes and team fights. Both for Viktor are fairly important areas. When can you get kills? What should you be doing in team fights? So let's start with power spikes. Simply put it as whenever you get a big item, that is a power spike for Viktor. So your first Hex Core upgrade, you should start to look for kills. Death Cap, Void Stuff, all of these items will help you get kills more than a lot of other champions actually. Viktor scales amazingly well with items. Then secondly, in team fights, what should you be doing? What should you be looking for? Simply put, you should be looking to kill the squishy champions, the AD carry, the AP mage against you. And if you can't, play defensive. Put your W on top of you or your AD carry and kill the tanks in front of you. Just remember to build accordingly. If there's a very tanky team, build that Leandri's Torment, as that will help a lot. Just wanted to wrap up the guide by saying thank you very much for watching. Here is the link to the Viktor commentary that I did, part of my Smurf series, so feel free to watch that for more information on Viktor. But as always, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, share with a friend if you got any friends, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya!